Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Rajesh Gautam from Dr. Harisingh Gaur Vishwavidyalaya Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. Today I will tell you about a module entitled Consanguineous Marriages in India from the paper entitled Human Population Genetics. So let's first we see what we are going to study in this module. We will study consanguineous marriages, region of consanguinity, socio-demographic aspect of consanguinity, preferential consanguineous union, state-wise and religion-wise prevalence of consanguineous marriages in India, and drawback of consanguineous marriages. Marriage is a universal institution evolved in the course of cultural evolution. It is a legally and socially sanctioned union between one or more husbands and one or more wives that accords status to their offspring and is regulated by laws, rules, customs, beliefs, attitudes that prescribe the rights and duties of the partners. The universality of marriage within different societies and cultures is attributed to many basic social and personal functions for which it provides structure such as procreation, sexual gratification and regulation, care of children and their education and socialization, regulation of lines of descent, division of labor between the sexes, economic production and consumption, and satisfaction of personal needs for affection, status and commonship. As you know, our country, India, is a country of diversities where variety of cultures and people coexist. Beside bioethnic variation, the people are divided into various caste groups. Even the religious groups like Christianity and Islam have casteism or they are treated as caste. These castes are endogamous. Beside caste and religious groups, Indian is also inhabited by a large number of tribal groups. Many of them are in earliest stage of development and cultural evolution. Earliest form of cultural institutions like matrilineality and polyandry still exist among Indian tribes. There are different types and forms of marriages based on different criterion. For example, on the basis of, there are group marriages, polygamy, monogamy, endogamy, exogamy, hypergamy, hypogamy, levirate marriage, sororate marriage and so on. Consanguineous marriages is based on kinship. The word consanguineous comes from the two Latin words con meaning shared and sanguis meaning blood. So the consanguinity describes a relationship between two people who share an ancestor or share blood. Such marriages are favored by different populations, usually bound to traditional customs, beliefs, and to keep property in united form within the family. Regions of consanguinity. There are several circumstances that would give a population regions for practicing consanguinity. For example, to strengthen family relations. Next is fear of marrying with a stranger. The next is maintenance of family property. Next is requirement of less economic transaction, that is dowry, and cultural practices favor intra-familial marriages. Marriages within the relatives are also believed to be more stable, have better relationship with in-laws, favor the practice and continuity of cultural practices. Parents believe that in close kin relationship, physical traits of the bride will be less important and in-laws will be more caring and supportive. Another region of consanguinity is found to be associated with socio-economic labels, education, and rural communities. Table 1, Consanguineous marriage in India by state 1992-93. In this table, there is state-wise prevalence of consanguineous marriages and mean coefficient of inbreeding. You can see in north region there are Delhi, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab and Rajasthan. In central region there is Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh. In east region there is Bihar, Odisha and West Bengal. And there is state-wise prevalence of consanguineous marriages and their mean coefficient of inbreeding. This is continuity of previous table in which region-wise, state-wise prevalence of consanguineous marriages and mean coefficient of inbreeding is shown for northeast region, west and south. In northeast there are Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland and Tripura. In west region there are Goa, Gujarat and Maharashtra. In south region there are Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Kerala. And at the end there is a prevalence of consanguineous marriages for all India. There is bar diagram which is showing state-wise prevalence of consanguineous marriages in India. You can visualize the prevalence of consanguineous marriages. It is highest in the state of Andhra Pradesh 30.8%, followed by Karnataka 29.7%, then Maharashtra 21%, followed by Goa 10.6%. Jammu and Kashmir have 8% consanguineous marriages, followed by Uttar Pradesh and Kerala having same prevalence 7.5%. Odisha have 5.7%. Bihar and West Bengal each have 5% consanguineous marriages. Gujarat 4.9%. Delhi 4.3%. Madhya Pradesh 4.1%. Arunachal Pradesh 3.9%. Meghalaya 2.7%. Manipur 2.1%. Tripura 1.9%. Assam 1.7%. Nagaland 1.5%. Rajasthan 1.3%. Haryana 1%. Punjab 0.9%. Himachal Pradesh 0.8%, and Mizoram have least prevalence of such kind of marriages, that is 0.5%, and for all India the prevalence of consanguineous marriages is estimated was 11.9%. As per National Family Health Survey, which was conducted during 1992-93 by International Institute of Population Sciences, South of India has higher prevalence of consanguineous marriages. As I already told you, by the help of table and bar diagram, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka have highest prevalence, that is 30% of consanguineous marriages, followed by Maharashtra 21% and Goa 10.6%. Kerala and Uttar Pradesh have almost similar prevalence of consanguineous marriages, that is 7.5%. In northern India, the highest prevalence of consanguineous marriages are in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, that is 8%, followed by Uttar Pradesh. The lowest prevalence of such marriages were reported from the state of Punjab, Haryana and Himachal Pradesh, that is nearly 1%. The capital of India, or in NCR, that is Delhi, have 4.3% consanguineous marriages. In central India, the prevalence varies from 4.1% to 7.5%. In East India, the prevalence is 5 to 5.7%. In general, the prevalence of consanguineous marriages is low in Northeast India. The state of Arunachal Pradesh will have 3.9% of such marriages, which is highest in Northeast, and Mizoram have lowest, that is 0.5% consanguineous marriages. The all India average of consanguineous marriage was found 11.9%. In different sporadic studies around the country during 1961 to 1993, The prevalence of consanguineous marriages varies from 0.5% to 46%. You can visualize there is table number 2 in which consanguineous marriages among different Indian population has been displayed. There is region wise, location wise, prevalence of consanguineous marriages according to type of consanguinity, coefficient of inbreeding, and their respective reference. In East India, there is a study in which during 1961 to 1964, obstetric inpatients were studied in Calcutta, and on the basis of 19,111 sample, the consanguinity were estimated, which was 0.5%, and the type of consanguinity were first cousin. The coefficient of inbreeding was not estimated, and the study was conducted during 1966. The next study was done by Huq 1976, that was in West Bengal among Muslim population, that was household survey, and 835 sample size were taken, on the basis of which the consanguinity was estimated, which was 22.2%, and the type of consanguinity considered in this study was first cousin and second cousin. The coefficient of inbreeding estimated was 0.0135. Similarly, there are study by Afzal in 1998 among Muslims of Bihar, and in 1988 again by Afzal in Muslims of Bihar in rural area. Then there is another study in 1978 by Ansari and Sinha, in which they studied consanguinity among Muslims of Bihar. Then there is a study by Beetle and Hussain in 1998 for all regions and Muslim population. They concluded on the basis of a sample size 2622 and found 15.8% consanguinity among different type of consanguineous marriages. In this way, this table have detailed information about consanguineous marriages among different Indian population of East, Central, North and South India. So dear students, to understand the prevalence of consanguineous marriages in India, we have taken data from a national household survey conducted during 1992 and 1993. On the basis of this survey, the prevalence of consanguineous marriages among Hindus is 10.6%, and the mean coefficient of inbreeding is 0.0068. Among Muslims, it is highest 23.3%, and the mean coefficient of inbreeding is 0.0141. Among Christians, it is almost equal to Hindus, that is 10.3%, and the mean coefficient of inbreeding is 0.0068. Among Sikh population, the prevalence of consanguineous marriages is 1.5%, and the coefficient of breeding, mean coefficient of breeding, is 0.0009. Among Jain, it is 4.3%. Among Buddhist, it is 17.1%, and among others, it is 8.7%. For further understanding of consanguineous marriages, let me see this pie diagram in which there is religion wise consanguineous marriages are displayed for better and clear cut understanding. You can visualize that Muslims have higher prevalence of consanguineous marriages, that is 31%, followed by Buddhist 22%, Hindu and Christian stands at third position with 14% of consanguineous marriages, followed by others 11%, Jain 6%, and Sikh 2%. Consanguineous marriages by religion in India shows that the Muslim have higher prevalence, that is 31% of consanguineous marriages, followed by Buddhist 22%, Hindu and Christian have similar prevalence of such marriages, that is 14%, Jain and Sikh have 6 and 2% consanguineous marriages respectively. So, further classification of consanguineous marriages as per religion provides us an understanding how these consanguineous marriages is being practiced and which are the population or section of larger population in which consanguineous marriages are being practiced. So, dear students, in this context, to understand the degree of consanguinity, we have a flow chart on the basis of which we can understand the consanguinity and its degree. Let's see, in the first box of this flow chart, there is person, and if this person marries to its parents, there would be first degree of consanguinity, and if he or she married with his brother or sister, which is just below to the parents, the degree of consanguinity would be second degree of consanguinity. Similarly, if he married with his own children, this would be first degree of consanguinity, and if he or she married with grandchildren, the degree of consanguinity would be second. So, in this way, this flow chart, by this flow chart, we can understood the degree of consanguinity. Drawback of consanguineous marriages. Different type of genetic disorders have been reported to be more common among consanguineous progeny. For example, congenital disorders, neural tube defect, congenital heart defect, autosomal recessive hearing loss disorder, visual defects such as early onset, retinal dystrophies, primary congenital glaucoma, anophthalmos. A study has provided the evidence for inbreeding depression on cognitive abilities among children with high frequency of mental retardation among offspring in proportion to their increasing inbreeding coefficient. The depression on growth parameters, that is height, body weight and body mass index due to inbreeding among children has revealed the significant increase in underweight cases with increasing inbreeding coefficients. Primary infertility appeared to be reduced, and there was little general evidence of increased number of miscarriages or stillbirth among consanguineous union. Thus, a meta-analysis conducted on 30 populations showed that at level of consanguinity from F is equal to 0.0156 to F is equal to 0.125, the mean number of live births was higher in consanguineous than non-consanguineous unions and for first cousin marriages. The fertility differential was significant. Most studies in India have indicated that early postnatal mortality is higher in the progeny of consanguineous unions owing to the expression of deleterious recessive genes. So, my dear students, now let us summarize what we have learned in this module, which was entitled Consanguineous Marriages in India. It is established that increasing urbanization and the gradual shift to smaller family size will impose constraints on consanguineous marriage in future generations. In this respect, a reduced prevalence of uncle-niece marriages would appear to be especially likely because of unacceptable age differentials between the potential partners. It seems probable that this decline will not be uniform in effect across populations, but will be mainly observed in urbanized populations and among couples who share higher educational standards and later ages at marriage. This specific type of consanguineous union contracted may also prove to be important determining factor. As family size reduce, double first cousin and uncle niece marriage in particular will become increasingly difficult to arrange within the accepted norms of spousal age difference at marriage. At the same time, there may be larger emphasis placed on the requirement to marry within the prescribed consanguineous marriage pattern. For example, mother's brother's daughter in southern India in order to ensure that a marriage within the family can be contracted. At the same time, it should be noticed that in the Muslim population of India, there has been no evidence of a reduction in consanguineous marriages during last 40 years. Our limited knowledge and understanding of consanguinity is unfortunate, especially since in Western societies the information that is available tends to be overly focused on undesirable clinical outcomes of close kin marriage, which adversely affected a minority of families and individuals. This lack of balance operates to the detriment of the much larger proportion of consanguineous couples whose children do not show identifiable deleterious biological effects and to whom the social and economic benefits of a consanguineous union appear obvious. Given the number of consanguineous marriages contracted in the world's most populous countries like India, and the fact that inherited disorders, which currently are lethal in less developed societies, it is essential that multidisciplinary survey should be conducted to estimate the extent of the problem, accompanied by the initiation of community based counseling programs and lifetime care under improved treatment facilities. Programs of this nature would clearly beneficial to human society as a whole. Thank you.